What is up, everybody? I am live. We are doing some art. So I am making a, come on, there we go. Yogi for D&D, because reasons. I don't have to have reasons. You don't need reasons. There are no reasons. You just do things. It's art. Art doesn't have to be about something always. Sometimes it's just fun. And, that's today. But I have to clean up this mesh, because I made it using Boolean modifiers. And if there's one thing you should know about Boolean modifiers and Blender, it's that they make for dirty meshes. But they have their advantages, so I have to use them. I guess I don't have to, but I do. Also, I have music going, but you can't hear it because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But currently, I'm listening to Let's Dance by David Bowie. David Bowie is good. Other people are good too. Oh, didn't mean to hit that. I'll inspect this little edge here. Ah, get out of here. Am I in orthographic mode? I am, that's the problem. Okay. Get out of here, orthographic mode. Let's get rid of these faces. Alright, let's see. Whoops. I don't need any of these vertices. Whoops. Alright, what is going on here? So this has been a bit of a learning project for me. I have not really modeled a lot using Booleans before. But I wanted to give it a try, because I've seen people do it and get some pretty good results. So I wanted to give it a try. But yeah, so the way this was modeled is, I can show you a quick example. So, alright, let's say I got a cube. I'll just move it someplace. Yeah, there you go. There's a cube. Okay. And then I want to, say, another cube, but a smaller one, scale on the x-axis. Okay. And then I want to do something crazy like, I don't know, we'll do, say, a cylinder. We'll turn it sideways. Yeah, turn it sideways the other way. We'll scale it thinner. And then say, want it here. Okay, so let's say I want the cylinder to be a cutout, and I want to join these cubes. Now I can click on this cube, Boolean, we'll get a difference modifier with this guy. And then we'll get another modifier, Boolean. We'll get, we'll get a union here. And now I'm just going to hit apply because I don't really care. And suddenly, this is all one object. I don't need these. And, I mean, it's not clean. Like, you wouldn't want to use this as a final production model. But you can clean it up, and the basic shape is there. I can't bill you drunk albatross, because I don't want to give an albatross alcohol, nor am I drinking alcohol. Today is a non-drinking day. But welcome on by the Vitamin. We are having fun in Blender, doing D&D art. This is the D&D monster I'm working on. It's a Neogi. I don't know if you know what a Neogi is, but they're terrible. But they are, so far, fun to make. I just have to figure out where it was. Here we go. Do, do, do. Just having fun with Dungeons and Dragons. There you go. How you doing, unidentified Leviathan? I can't talk apparently, despite the no alcohol. Whoop! There we go. Yeah, like this isn't like my drunk channel. It's just my off-topic channel, but that doesn't mean I'll never be on here while I'm drunk. So, you know. But yeah. Whoops! That was the wrong vertex. I can't be around for long. Gotta watch a documentary about Anglo-Saxons. So Thleacha. Ich spreche da English. I got an A in Old English, or Anglo-Saxon, if you will, back in college. It was a fun class. Pretty easy. Well, okay, that's not fair. It was pretty easy for me. A lot of people had a really tough time with it, but I have a fairly good head for languages. So, yeah. I'm not saying that anyone should just go dive into Anglo-Saxon and expect to just be like, oh yeah, this is totally the easiest thing I've ever done. It won't be. But, if you have a good head for languages and you speak modern English, it's really not that bad. Big old woman skeleton with a bed? Like they found her skeleton on a bed? I mean, I guess a coffin is just a bed, right? It's a bed for corpses. Corpse bed. Let's go to non-orthographic mode here. So as a way to zoom in a perspective camera, because sometimes you want to zoom in, but you don't want like all this backface stuff here. Like, oh, backface. But, whatever. What do I want to do with this? That's what I want. She was dug up. You know, actually, there's a big debate in like archaeology as to at what point does archaeology count as grave robbing? Because, you know, what's really the difference? Like, if you go into some ancient Egyptian tomb, right, and you start fiddling around with the stuff in there, the people who built that tomb, like, that was not the reason they built it. They built it as the final resting place for an actual human. You know what? I don't like this this face. I'm gonna get rid of it. Faces. There we go. So yeah, like the ancient Egyptians, they did not build their tombs so that you could go rummaging around in them. So and really, neither did anyone else. People don't build tombs for that reason, for other people to rummage around in. And so like, how would you feel if like you found out that let's see, like how would you feel if, like your grandmother or something, her tomb was dug up, her grave was dug up by someone, and their excuse was, oh well, you know, I did it for science? You'd probably be pretty unhappy about that. So the rule of thumb that archaeologists tend to go with is if someone can remember the person whose grave you're digging up as a living person, don't dig up that grave. Don't do it. Which I think is actually a pretty good rule. Let's see. Dark Knights Apologetics, Burn Bird, Mr. Serious, all here. Let's see. What website do I use? I use a lot of websites. I'm not really sure I know the context there. You might have to be more specific. Yeah, because I use a lot of websites. Sorry, I don't know. Google? Hey guys, I'm glad you guys made it. Yeah, this is just an art stream. I have music going. You can't hear it because copyright. There we go. Oh, there we go. Just getting these vertices I don't need. And by the way, you might hear some Blender YouTubers call each one of these a vertice. No, Each one is a vertex. One vertex, two vertices. Don't be like those guys and call them a vertice. I'm gonna get rid of this vertice. No. Just all vertices. There you go. Alright. So our goal here is no end guns. None. Not a one. End guns are the devil. Yeah, Grandma loved attention. She'd be into it. Nice. So you can just go into the graveyard that's outside town, find the oldest one, and dig it up. Well, so there you get into other complications, because archaeological sites tend to be owned by people. Oh, this is Blender. This isn't a website. This is its own application. But yeah. So in order to do ethical archaeology, one of the first things you have to do is get permission from whoever owns the site. Now, in a lot of cases, that's going to be a government. But in the case of a cemetery that's like out in your backyard or something, that might actually be like, or not your backyard, but like, you know, not too far from your house, there's actually a fair chance that it's a privately maintained cemetery. So you would have to get permission from the cemetery owner. Because I don't know how it works everywhere, but at least in the US, cemeteries tend to be run as businesses. Very strange kind of business, but yeah, businesses nonetheless. Took a year of archaeology before getting into Assyriology, and there was a huge focus. Yeah, it's a really big deal. Because there have been a lot of abuses. Yeah, that's why there's such a big focus on ethics. Because, I mean, you look at, like, the sort of, like, 1800s British explorers, and, yeah, a lot of them basically just acted like grave robbers. And they're like, oh, but it's going into a museum. Well, yeah, I guess, but, like, still, how do the locals feel about any of this? And the answer is often, not very good, but what are they going to do? You have the guns. So they're kind of stuck dealing with your crazy grave robbing ass. So yeah, archaeology is not like they show in the movies. I found petrified wood on my property. Can I keep it? I cannot answer that question because I do not know the laws regarding fossils and ownership of fossils in Canada. I know that in the US, fossils count as mineral, and you have mineral rights to anything found under your property. Because in the US, they have a legal doctrine for property rights for land called ad infernus, which is Latin for to hell, which basically means that as far down as you can go until you hit hell, which, spoiler alert, you're just not going to hit, you're just going to hit the core of the earth. Technically, all of that is yours. So if you find it under the ground in the US and it's on your land, you own it. But in Canada, I believe they have specific rules about fossils and making it harder to privately own a fossil found in Canada. Of course, the other thing is, I mean, I'm not suggesting anything, but like, I don't think the authorities are going to come after you for a single piece of petrified wood. So, I mean, is it a find of scientific significance? Probably not. I mean, okay, to be fair, all fossils are to some extent, but whatever. If the grave robbers were wrong, they wouldn't have all those guns. Yeah, that's a good point. Guns are definitely the ultimate moral authority. Alright, we're going to go with this one next. But yeah, consult a, I mean, I'm sure there are, places with paleontology departments like colleges and whatnot. Yeah, there was a Godzilla sound. That's actually a notification on my phone. Let's see, Facebook is. But yeah, contact like a university or a museum that does archaeology digs in Canada and ask them what the rules are in Canada for keeping fossils. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Oops. It's really easy to select the wrong vertex. Let me stop it. Stop it. There we go. There Oops, missed one. So what's everybody else up to? Would it be easier with a VR headset? I mean, some things would be easier with a VR headset. Sculpting might be, but actually, there's a lot of things, like, for instance, so right now, this is perspective mode, so perspective works normally, but a lot of the time, in order to help things line up, or just to get a better sense of the size of things in different parts of your mesh, you end up going to orthographic mode, where there is no perspective. So, like, here, I'll show you there's a very noticeable difference. So if I add a cube, right? No, I didn't mean to add it to the mesh, whatever. Alright, so if I add a cube, okay. And I go to 3, if I'm in perspective mode and I slide it along the x-axis, you see it getting a lot smaller. But if I go to orthographic mode, just to prove to you that I'm actually sliding it along the x-axis, I'll go to top mode here. See, the only thing it does is either cover or not cover the model that I already have. It doesn't get smaller no matter how far away I put it until it passes the clipping point, which is going to be a while, so. Yeah, so that would be a lot harder, trying to deal with orthographic mode with a VR set. It would probably make you, me nauseated. I couldn't do it, probably. Your phone just turned itself off for no reason, Dark Knight. That's not great. Yeah, haunted cell phone. Definitely a great horror story of our times. Well, maybe not. Where did I leave off? Where was I? Oh, there it was. Okay, so yeah, there are reasons to look at the different views. Yeah, there are definitely things that are easier if you actually have a VR, but not everything. Dissolve these vertices. Merge. Let's see. What do we got in the chat? I made a new team, not official, just school joke. It's called Toronto Utahs. It's a professional basketball team. It's what we put when we need to put down our favorite team. Nice. I like it. Also, ever been to Utah? Utah has some nice stuff to it. It's also got some boring stuff. And if you're gonna fly into Utah, look up what day the Mormon missionaries get home. There's a particular day of the week that they like fly them home on, and do not arrive that day. Because, oh my goodness, is the airport crowded. Because, like, you know, a sizable portion of the population of Utah is coming home. And there's, like, only the one Salt Lake City airport, so... yeah, it's a nightmare. I've made that mistake a few times. Yeah, Mr. Serious, it is really cool to do stuff like that with the VR headset. VR works best in terms of 3D modeling when you do sculpting. And so sculpting is like the next step in the process that I'm going to do. And that would work pretty well with a headset. In fact, most VR-ready 3D creation software tools are sculpting. So, yeah. That's where VR and 3D modeling really shines, is in the sculpting area. You get things like tilt brush, Blender, not Blender, Oculus has their own proprietary software, but I mean, you can export stuff as, you know, standard files like .obj or maybe .stl, FBX. Those are some of the standard, what do you call it? The standard 3D file exchange formats. Because, like, you know, the native file for Blender is a .blend, but that doesn't actually contain just 3D objects. That contains, you know, 3D objects, it contains shaders, it contains scene lighting information, camera data, anything that's in Blender can go into the .blend file. And when you open it up, you get a whole Blender file. But if all you want to do is send the one file, just the objects, then you want to export. Doing Babylonian homework, translating annals of Man, what are you doing to me? Sennacherib. Dude, it's due in 12 hours. Burnbird, you better get on that, man. That's that sounds pretty tough. And I've never learned a word of Babylonian. I'm actually not even positive. I assume it's a Semitic language, but, like, is it? So, yeah, Burnbird, let me know what the language affiliation of Babylonian is. Like I said, I've just always assumed it was Semitic because, you know, it was an area and a time when there were a lot of Semitic languages. Unlike today, where there's, like, 2, basically. Yeah, I know there's more than 2, but, like, come on. If you're speaking a Semitic language, there's, like, a 99.999 chance that it's either Hebrew or Arabic. And even then, it's still probably Arabic, because there are way more Arabic speakers than Hebrew speakers. Although then again, we could also have the argument as to whether or not the various dialects, quote-unquote, of Arabic count as separate languages, because most of them probably should. It's one of the 2 main dialects of Akkadian, the other being Assyrian. Oh, there you go. Alright, so let's get some more of this stuff done. Don't need any of that. Get rid of the faces. Back to solid mode. Oops. Let's just dissolve the edges or vertices. You speak Babylonian yeah, I don't... Yeah, I feel like that's not Babylonian, but then again, what do I know? I don't know Babylonian. I'm just vaguely aware that it's a Semitic language, and therefore it probably has a nice little triconsonantal root system that isn't as regular as Arabic's. In fact, Arabic's triconsonantal root system is so regular that a lot of linguists suspect that at some point it was artificially standardized as a literary device. And this is, of course, you know, standard Arabic or al-Fusha, which is not the Arabic that people speak in their homes. But it's the Arabic that they speak on, like, the news or in many movies. Although Egyptian Arabic has been sort of taken over the movie scene, too. But, yeah, it's so absurdly regular that, yeah, I personally think there's a really good chance that it's actually just a literary invention that came, probably sometime around the time that the Quran was being really compiled. Because I also don't really trust the Islamic sources for how they say that the Quran was transmitted. For one thing, they don't seem to line up well with historical documents, both in the Arab world itself, like in some inscriptions, and just how other people besides the Arabs were talking about the Quran. So, yeah, I don't actually think that it was just memorized by the early Muslims as the sayings of, as whatever Muhammad said the Quran was. Nah. But hey, I don't get into that much, because I don't want to get beheaded. Let's see. does have the 3 consonantal root system. Nice. Oh, Lady Lumo, I'm sorry, you came in late. Or, well, later, you're not late. So what I'm working on is a Neogi model. So right now, I'm cleaning up the mesh so that I can more easily sculpt it, because so I'm going to be doing a sculpt and then a retopology thing on this. It's a bit of a project, but the first time I tried to sculpt it, after I just smashed the mesh together with some Boolean modifiers, it was ugly, and then when I tabbed over into edit mode, like the underlying mesh was just a mess, and that can mess up your normal maps. So I don't want messed up normal maps. So I'm going in and cleaning up the mesh before I start sculpting. It'll also mean that I'll have like a clean mesh that I can just slide off to the side and not worry about, but have it if I ever need it. Let's see. Did I view your Sabaton? I did not. Let's see. Looks like a giant ant. Well, so it is a sort of... So the head is going to end up looking sort of like an eel's head. It's going to have like spiky little teeth in it. The body is more or less spider-like, and it has some graspers. So... yeah. I can pull up some examples that other people have done. Give me a second. Yeah, so we got some... I think this is the 3.5 art. I kind of like this. That's a really nicely alien-looking one. I like that. I might keep some stuff from that. Like I might give it a maybe more than 4 or more than 2 eyes or something maybe. And I like this kind of ribbed nature around the neck. Which actually I don't even know if you can see my cursor. Oh yeah, you can. Okay. Got this. That's not a Neogi. But I see why it might get lumped in with them. I remember that thing, and I remember it is not a Neogi, but whatever. This little guy here is very spidery. So yeah, there you go. But this is the very, like, beginning section of that. Yeah, Lady Luma says, I like a joke Kitchens made that because God spoke to Mary and Muhammad, then God was definitely not a monoglot, like some tend to imply by saying the Quran only exists in Arabic. I would say that most people who are really serious about their Islamic theology probably would not say that God is a monoglot, but they would say that because Allah revealed the Quran in Arabic, that's the only authentic version of it, and that anything else is not the Quran. Which, I mean, I could see something like that. It's like, you know, poetry doesn't translate well into other languages. So, whatever. But I do disagree with the general level of insistence in the Muslim world that the Quran, reading the Quran in any other language just doesn't count. It's like, Arabic isn't some magical, untranslatable language. Sorry, guys. It's just not. I don't speak a lot of Arabic, but I know enough to know that it's not, like, made of magic. It's not even the Darmok and Jalad language from Star Trek. Also, by the way, thank you for hitting like, those of you who did. Very much appreciated. So, I actually realized something recently about asking people to hit like, and it's that I often forget to hit like until the streamer or YouTuber or whatever reminds me that that's a thing I should do. So like, I hit a like on a lot of videos, but it almost never happens unless someone says, "Oh, remember to hit like," because I don't remember. So I noticed that about myself. So, yeah. There we go. Godzilla! I'm gonna actually check that, because I think I might know who that is. Give me a second, sorry. Alright, yep, that's who I thought it was. Let's see, faces, get out of here. Oh, Unidentified Leviathan got the first like. You were also the first in here, so yeah, that makes sense. Semitic languages are hard to translate in a way that sounds good, though. Yeah, I'll give you that. That's probably true. I think it's. I mean, like you could probably translate them into Berber pretty well, but I think it's just that languages that are too far distant from each other in terms of relation don't always translate well, like in a nice sounding way. Like you can translate Latin and Greek and German and Italian and even Farsi or whatever into each other, and it usually works out pretty well. There's some weird bits, but for the most part it works. But like when things are translated to or from like Chinese or Japanese or Arabic, you know, basically across language families, it's not great. It doesn't sound great. So if anyone were to tell me that they preferred the sound of the Quran or whatever in English, I would just be like, no, you're just wrong. Like, the Quran in English is not a very good read. That's why all my Qurans are, they're not interlinear, but they have the English and the Arabic. And one of my translations isn't actually a verse by verse. It's like a paragraph by paragraph, because some of the verses or ayat in the Quran, they're reasonable breaking points in Arabic, but not really in English. Plus, the ayat were a later invention anyway, just like the verses in the Bible. Like, when the Bible was being written, none of those books had verses or chapters. Although, in the Old Testament, basically every sentence in the Masoretic text ends up as a verse. Oh, let's see. Is Godzilla going to be Pavlov? Well, I'm not drinking anything with alcohol tonight. So, if Godzilla becomes a Pavlov thing for you in drinking, hey, that's on you. But yeah, this is a sober stream. Yeah, there we go. Did it go off again? I didn't. I thought maybe Godzilla had gone off again. Guess it didn't. Alright, what am I looking for again? Alright, you're good. You're good. You're good. Okay, that's good. There we go. That's not good. Alright. Let's go to wireframe. Get out of here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, well, hey, you know what? I'm going to grab a quick... Oh, there's Godzilla. I'm going to actually grab a quick icy cold beverage, because I am thirsty, but it is not going to be alcoholic. Because, yeah, I actually really don't... You guys get to see almost every time I drink, because it's almost only ever on Kent with Ben. So, in like the last 4 months, if I've been drunk, you guys have been here for it. But I'll be right back. Hey, Adam Morgan, I'm sorry that you came while I was grabbing myself a ice cold beverage. There we go. Oh, unidentified Leviathan. Sorry that you had to get out of here. Have a good night, in the off chance that you're still here. Let's see. You played D&D last weekend. We met a fork in the road, flipped a coin, and it landed on its side. That sounds like a D&D kind of thing to happen. Ended up going down the center through a desolate wasteland. Yeah. Improvised quest through a monkey wrench into your DM's plans? Yeah, because that area was probably a big old blank spot in the map. And hey, new chatter, so you get to have a little zoom out here. Working on a Neogi. Alright, here we go. Actually, I need to check to see if my playlist is on repeat, because it should be on repeat and random, but you never know. Alright, yeah, so we're good now. Because I'm listening to the music that you guys can't hear. Oops. Right now, we got Enter Sandman by Metallica. Which, excellent song, excellent band. Last song I heard was America by Rammstein. Oops. Actually, wait a minute. What happened to Ich Will? That's also on here, but I didn't hear it. Whatever. Whoops. Did not mean to dissolve this vertex. There we go. What's my preferred genre of music? That's a really hard question to answer. Cause like, okay, so like Metallica's on here, but like so are the Bee Gees, and so's Beethoven. I don't know. I have genres I like more than others, so like I'm fairly fond of metal. There are some jazz pieces I like, but others that I don't. Not a huge fan of most hip hop. It just seems really simplistic. I mean, it is really simplistic, let's be honest. There's a lot of 80s rock on my list. There's a lot of Queen. There's a good bit of David Bowie. There's even some Queen and David Bowie because Under Pressure is on there. So, there you go. I don't know. I have fairly eclectic tastes in music, and I don't spend a whole lot of time finding music to listen to, if I'm being honest. My playlist isn't even organized. It's literally just, I like these songs, so they go on the list. So, you know. Oops. Want that one in there too. So the goal here is no n-gons, but triangles are okay because this is not a mesh that's going to end up being used for animation or anything like that. So this is a mesh that is going to be used for sculpting on. I am going to save a copy of it for later editing if I need to. Like if something's not working out with the sculpt and I want to go back to the basic mesh, I'll have it. But, so I can have triangles. You don't want triangles on your final mesh because it makes animation and subdivisions and things like that a little bit tricky. But I'm going to be using dynamic topology when I sculpt because it's easier on my computer most of the time. Well, the way I sculpt it is. It shouldn't be, but it is. And so that'll just convert the entire mesh to triangles anyway, so it won't matter. What am I doing? Let's go at it from this end. There we go, yeah, that'll work. Alright. if you like history, I'd also recommend Sabaton, like Until Leviathan keeps mentioning. Alright. Chicken for any weird normal stuff. Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, so that's fixed. That's fixed. That is not fixed. That's not fixed. Alright, so we know our next target. Right here. Okay, here we go. So yeah, I was doing this today, and I was like, oh, you know, I'll do this for like an hour or something, and that was at like 1. And then my best friend sent me a message, and she was talking about like what she's having for dinner, and I was like, why are you making dinner? And then I looked down at the clock, and I was like, oh, it's been like 3 hours, and I thought it had been like, you know, I don't know, 40 minutes. And also she lives in Eastern time zone, so it was later for her anyway, but still. Oops. I want to dissolve her disease. There we go. Check to make sure. Yep, all good. Yeah. The solo from Bach's Brandenburg Concerto is metal, arguably. I don't know that I can remember that one. Although I actually know a lot of metalheads are actually really into a lot of classical music too, because as it turns out, a lot of the really high quality metal out there is a pretty complex and close in terms of like music theory to a lot of classical music. Like there's a lot more to metal than a lot of people realize. But yeah, I know a number of people, especially people who play metal, who are really into classical music too. Whoops. At last. There you go. What was that skeleton T-Rex about? So I am planning a video where basically it's a tour of a dinosaur skeleton using T-Rex as our example animal. And so I'm going to go through, I'm not going to name every single bone in it, but I'm going to go through like the basics that you would need if you wanted to read through and get the gist of like a paleontology paper. Without needing to look up every single word, basically. I'm going to prepare you for when I talk about things like anatomy. So if I say things like, oh, the lacrimal bone has, you know, an S-shaped process on the anterior margin, you'll know what that means. So, I have the script done. I have to do the audio recording. I'll probably have that done tomorrow. I might even have the animation set tomorrow, because the animating shouldn't take too long. The files themselves, like the actual frames, though, probably will be done... what's tomorrow? Tuesday? Maybe by Wednesday. It'll probably come out sometime next week. There you go. My favorite band, Powerwolf, sounds very Catholic Church music-y, and I love it. You know, whatever else you can say about churches or Catholicism or anything, there is some good music going on in... Now, modern Catholic worship music is absolute garbage. My goodness, it's trash. But like one of my least favorite songs ever is he will lift you up on eagle's wings or something. It's a Catholic hymn that was written in like the 20th century, and it's just garbage. I don't know. And I know that the Catholic Church is doing that because they're like, oh, we don't want to do everything in Latin. It's like, all right, but get better music. Stop. Not being in Latin doesn't have to equal absolute garbage music. But yeah, some of the medieval chants and stuff, excellent stuff. Also, check out some Byzantine chant. It's very different in quality, but I also like it, and I find it very very relaxing. Like sometimes if I have like a headache, I just turn on some Byzantine chant and just listen to it. Do I know what they're saying? Not usually. It's usually in like, Church Slavonic or, 1st century Greek with a modern Greek pronunciation. I don't know any Church Slavonic, and I only know a little bit of 1st century Greek, and I learned it with the sort of reconstructed pronunciation that was probably more like how it actually sounded, but not like how any Greek is going to pronounce it. Although, to be fair, I can usually figure out a lot of church music in Greek, at least in the gist, but yeah, I can't really follow the whole thing. That's not why I'm listening. I'm listening to help get rid of the headache. Whoops. Those two, there you go. Oh, yeah, I don't want those. There you go. Oops. No, come on. I want to go for quads when I can. You mean Eastern Roman Empire? Yeah. So, well, actually, I more specifically mean Byzantine, because it was a style that was created and characteristic of the city Byzantium. So, it spread to other places. When Cyril and Methodius ended up in Kiev translating the Christian scriptures into Slavonic, they brought that style of music with them, but to some extent, modern Russian ecclesiastical chant, or ecclesial chant, I don't know, words, has drifted a fair bit from the older Byzantine style. And if it's up to me, I prefer the older Byzantine style. Let's see. Have you read Dr. Carr's 20,000-page paper on phylogeny and evolutionary history on Tyrannosauroid? I have not. I feel like it would take me a decade to read it. My goodness, that's amazing. That is a lot of text. But it's good that it's out, because Tyrannosaur systematics are not super cut and dry in many cases. I mean, that's true for a lot of extinct animals. It's always hard when you don't have the genetics to back up your, cladistic analysis, because, I mean, it just helps confirm things. And some of the changes that you see in the evolution in various groups like Tyrannosauroids can be so subtle and such simple changes that it's hard to say is this really an evolutionary significant change, or is this the kind of thing that we might expect to see happening convergently in an essentially identical manner? Because it's like, okay, so the head got bigger. It's the kind of thing that can happen convergently. The genetics would help clear that up, but we don't have them. So, yeah, it's good that there's such a substantial work on it. He showed their lineage as anagenesis? Alright, sorry, I have to find another spot where we need help. Unless we're done. It seems unlikely. Actually, we might be. Alright, let's do this systematically. Alright. So, we're good there. good here. Good here, however sloppy it might be. Good here. Alright, so the whole arm is good. Do the little thumb finger. Is that good? Yeah. Alright. Whoop. Jumped away from me, that happens occasionally. Let's just center on here. Yeah, I think we might actually be ready to start sculpting. Well, there you go. All that kind of mindless busy work is done. Alright, we're gonna apply this. I'm gonna duplicate this guy. I'm gonna call one of them. So, alright, let's go with Yogi Base Mesh. Let's go into a new collection called Yogi Base Mesh. There we go. And then Yogi Base Mesh is going off. Also, we're going to watch this for a few seconds because once it finishes, I'm going to cancel this rendering so that I don't kill my computer. Because this is quite a thing. So, there you go. Hey, Duke Ellington is here. What up, Duke? This is a little preview for something that's probably going to make a few appearances on live streams here and there. Basically, I need something I can play if I need to step away from the computer. Why are you making a scary spider thingy, the Evil Scotsman? Because it's what I do. I'm also making the thing that you're watching now. It's D&D art. It's an Yogi. They got mind control powers. So, Evil Scotsman and Duke, how are you? I feel like I haven't asked. I don't feel like I asked Adam Morgan either. Anyone who I haven't asked how you are, put how you are in the chat, because I want to hear about it. I want to hear how your day's going. Before I cancel this this frame. These frames take me 14 minutes each, man. Almost all of which isn't actual rendering, it's just setting up the scene to be rendered. Rather annoying. Hey, Helios575 is playing Monster Hunter World. Why isn't he here? Let's see. Spiders are scary? I mean, I'm scary. Yeah, it's dinosaurs aren't scared of anything. It's only you weak humans that are wimps. Let's make this bigger. More interesting that way. Is that too big? That's a little too big. Get down to there. There we go. Look at that. Pretty sweet, huh? Duke is tired, but good. There's a snowstorm outside, so it's nice to be inside. Well, that blows. It hit 75 today. Here. Fahrenheit. Not Celsius. I would be dead if it hit 75 Celsius. But, you know. Yeah, 24 or so Celsius. Yep. There we go, look at that. Isn't that a mighty nice frame? Feels kind of ominous. Alright, so once that frame goes away, I'll be sure it's... Actually, I can check it right now. Was this frame 625? Let's see. Has 625 actually been put into the file? No, it hasn't. Alright, fine. Oh, there we go. Should be good now. Let's double check though. Come on, Blender. Just output the file. Goodness. The snow was pretty not safe to drive through. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm glad that you did not die. This is a great frame, maybe the best ever. I don't know about that. But I wanted to finish outputting because I do not want to sculpt while this is going, because I guarantee you it will destroy my computer. I'll get a blue screen. Trying to render, sculpt, and have Chrome open while streaming, yeah, my computer will crash. Lady Lumo, I'm okay, maybe you had too much coffee. That sounds like a good problem to have. Oh, you have no idea. This is a 2122 frame animation. And I know it says start at 579, but that's just because I had already rendered all the frames before that out when I opened up the file today. So, yeah. Would you finish already? Goodness. Alright, so we're going to go to sculpting. And, oh, yeah, we could actually have this thing selected. So, sculpt mode. And I'm actually going to do some I was going to say, like, non-destructive, but I guess all I really mean is I'm just going to edit the mesh itself. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they changed the UI on sculpting a little bit, so I'm not super used to it. Smooth, that's what I want. So we're gonna get rid of these like really harsh lines where you can tell exactly which primitives I used. Because yeah, that's ugly. Yeah, look at that. That's much nicer. Alright, there you go. Look at that. Alright, yeah. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah, just don't want it to be so obvious that it's just a collection of like spheres and boxes and whatnot. Yeah, is there such a thing as too much coffee? That's the real question. Alright, we're gonna hit cancel on this, but it's gonna take a while, because everything about this file takes a while. Okay, let's smooth out this guy here. Alright. Let's smooth out this section here. We don't want to smooth out too much in this little elbow section, because we want there to be a distinct bend. And plus, with so few vertices there, it will make it a little bit tough to restore that until I get into dynamic topology, which I'm not doing for a little while. So, alright. There we go, look at that. Got rid of all that ugliness there. So it's already starting to look less like a horrible collection of spheres and rods, and it's starting to get a little bit more of an organic feel to it. Like, that looks like it could be some kind of a joint or something. So, yeah. Yeah. Sculpting is really, really good for organic modeling. It is also useful for hard surface modeling, but it's tricky. It's not easy to do. But, yeah. Blender actually has a pretty good suite of sculpting tools. And don't get me wrong, I am still planning on at some point when I have the income getting ZBrush and using that as my main sculpting tool, and then eventually getting the substance suite of programs, so I can get like Substance Designer, Substance Painter, all that. And then that will probably become my workflow. Will be sculpt in ZBrush. Retopo in Blender. Well, actually, you can retopo in ZBrush too. So probably retopo in ZBrush, touch up in Blender. Then actual texturing in Substance Painter / Substance Designer, and then actual rendering and animation in Blender. But that's a fair bit down the road, because those are all expensive things. It's like something like $70 a month for that whole package. And it's $0 a month for Blender, because Blender is completely free. This is looking really good, like watching chess draw, but in 3D. Well, thank you. That's I'm honored by that, because I consider Chess to be a pretty talented lady. All right, so I want to get this a little bit smoother. I put my playlist on shuffle, and it's now playing Enter Sandman, which I just listened to. All right. There we go. That's looking pretty... Why do I have weird normals going on here? Oh, I see why I have weird normals. Where are you going? Get out of here! That's why it's always good to check your mesh at every stage. See what's up with those weird normals. Is that weird normals or is it just deep shadow? Alright, fine. Alright, another quick thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a subdivision modifier on here. Actually, I'm going to close this first. Oh, it's still canceling? Seriously? Alright, fine. So, pop a subdivision on it here. Yeah, 2 is fine. Because, if there's weird normals going on, subdivisions can make that easier to figure out. Like right here, what's going on here? Why is that doing a thing? I don't know. Find out. That's why. Yeah, see, this is the kind of stuff that I like to clean up in, with, before I start sculpting. Sorry, I couldn't think for a second there. Total just brain no worky. Alright. It's the sort of stuff you don't notice when you're sculpting, but when you come to, like, do texture maps and whatnot, it gets all crazy. So yeah, this is, I mean, it's not the prettiest mesh, but it's fine. It's workable. Alright, but I did make some edits to one side of the mesh that didn't get made to the other side. So I'm going to get rid of this multi-res. Wait, there was a multi-res on there? Whatever. Don't matter. Alright, let me go to edit mode. Okay. Up here. Box select. Make sure I have everything. Looks like everything. Alright, get out of here. Add the mirror modifier back. See, I was originally planning on just going into sculpting and not having lots of other stuff to do, but then that didn't happen, so. Alright, are you done yet? Other Blender file? Yes, finally. Alright, let's save it and exit. Apparently Godzilla went off while I was away. Whatever. Alright. Okay, so now we can actually go into edit or sculpt mode. Let's bring back solid view. And we can go for some Dynatopo. And it starts at 12 pixels. I like to drop it down to, whoa. Hold on. Messed that up. Hold up, revert. Also, there's a thing here. Why is there a thing here? What are you doing? Aha! Found you. Why don't you guys point that out to me? Yeah, because I'm nitpicky and I'm the only one who would notice. Also, that's a really weird pole. Look at this pole. Whatever. Oh, Evil Scotsman, you're off to bed? Alright, well that's fine. I mean, it's pretty late there. I mean, it's really late there. But yeah, hey, thanks for stopping in, man. It was great to have you. Okay. Let's apply the mirror modifier, and then we'll start sculpting. See, there you go. Drop it to Dinotopo 6. Alright. So there's this weird little, like, lump here. So we're gonna get to draw. Turn this. Oh. There you go. That's a better shape. But then we have to go back to smooth, where I'm going to turn it down again. Get rid of some of that blockiness. Alright, there we go. That's a little bit better. And actually, I'm going to grab... Yeah, that's just a better curve there. Can see some weirdness going on here. Okay. Draw. Let's get the size down a little bit. And now I need to pull up some references. So give me a second. Let's see what I want. Check that. All right. So I'm just looking at some pictures. I want to see how far forward I want the eyes. So I want the eyes I want at least some eyes here. So turn that up a little bit. Hello? Okay. Did they change? I think they might have changed one of my... Oh, Maya's here! Welcome, Maya. I think they changed some of the, Did they change some hotkeys? Huh. Okay, I guess I did. Whatever. That's not where I want it. I want it about here. So there's going to be an eye there. We're going to get a nose. And then I think I want some eyes near the top of the head, just to keep it looking really alien. Yeah, there you go. Alright, so we're going to add in... Oops. Let's see. We're going to get out of sculpt mode, object mode. We're going to add some stand-in eyeballs. So we're going to add in a... That's a nice little simple icosphere. Okay. I'll make it a little bigger. There we go. And we'll shade that smooth. Where am I looking? Shade smooth. See, they moved everything around in Blender 2.8. There we go. Selection of cursor, keep offset. Alright, and then object, we're going to apply the location, and then we are going to add in a mirror modifier. So we get them on both sides. I am making a Nyogi. Alright. Another thing I kind of want is, sculpt mode. Let's get the mask brush in here. Should be on add, right? Why are you not adding mask? Oh, wait, did I have the wrong object selected? Yeah, I did. I was trying to mask off the eyeball. Whoops. Alright, so we're gonna mask off some of this. Get rid of some of this mask. Don't want there to be too much. Alright, we're gonna add in some more masking around here. Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna go grab a fair bit, and I just want to give it a little bit of an upturn in the jaw right here. Just subtle. And then we're going to grab this, and we're going to give it a little bit of a little clip in here. And then we're going to bring the whole thing back a little bit. Let's get this here. Let's smooth some of this out. There we go, that's a little better. And then I'm going to go back to mask. Go to subtract, get rid of all of this masking. Masking, Blender hasn't implemented it super well, so I try not to use it too much. Alright, we're going to turn dynamic topology back on. Alright, we're going to smooth some stuff. Alright, let's go to draw. Alright. It's too high. Let's turn this strength down. Alright. Whoops. That's what I wanted. Alright, yeah. Oh, let's see. What do we got here? Duke Ellington, the ghost of Duke Ellington is a character on the show Big Mouth. He's great. Let's see here. I'm never sure he's speaking English. He always thinks he's speaking dinosaurs, but the TARDIS translates it to English. Nice. Let's see. Oh, Maya is nice. Maya, you're only a bitch when you need to be. That's your thing. Alright. Alright. Alright, yeah. Let's get some segmentation in here. So there to be some sense of segmentation. It doesn't always have to be perfectly vertical. So we're going to add in some bulk to this neck with these sort of subtle bits here. And we can define them a little bit more later. I like that placement. Let's go here. Yeah, there you go. Alright, so now let's get a little, it's a little on the fleshy side, but that's alright. We're going to turn this down. There we go. So, I don't know what that represents. Doesn't matter. I don't have a detailed idea of this creature's anatomy. I'm just going with whatever I think looks pretty good. So, get some segmentation there. Turn it up a little bit. Get some stuff going here. One per segment. I'm going to stick with the idea that this is a sort of a arthropod-based section of the body. And I know it's supposed to be sort of a spidery creature, and spiders have extremely cryptic segmentation on the abdomen. But this isn't actually a spider, it just kind of looks like one. So we're taking some artistic liberties with the spider anatomy here. I mean, we've already done that by putting, you know, the front legs into weird claws that look like some kind of like bird arm or something. So we're already taking big liberties with the spidery part of this monster. So I'm okay with making this look more like an ant abdomen or whatever. I can spell it for you. Hold on a second. It is Naomi. There you go. I spelled it because I'm a good. I'm not a good speller actually. People think I'm a good speller. I'm not. If you think I'm a good speller, it's because you don't know me well. All right. So this segment is going to get bigger because of the sort of scale that we're working on here. All right. Kind of like that, but I want to get this end to be a little bit more on the bulbous side. There we go. All right. So now we're going to have to go in and smooth it down a little bit. Get that all low. So we don't want these weird lines in here. They're just a artifact of the fact that I'm going from a very low poly count to a very high poly count. So, yeah. It's one of the more annoying features. I wish they could do something like, okay, if it's shade smooth, keep it smooth, guys. Whatever. Not a big deal. Just a step you have to go through. And I'm getting the very rough aspects of the form out of the way here. It's not like we're about to start texturing anytime soon. All right, there we go. I feel like we need another segment right here, though. Like, just behind the legs. Yeah, there we go. I like that. All right, let's get some smoothing on here. Ooh, we have a weird vertex problem. There we go. Solved it. There we go. I don't think it's Japanese, but I don't speak Japanese, so maybe. If it's Japanese, that would be news to me. But then a lot of stuff in D&D is based on like obscure folklore references, so it wouldn't really surprise me to find that it was based on something. But yeah. Alright, I want to add a little bit of a ridge for a spine, and that's actually probably going to go all the way down to here. So we're going to hop into top mode. I'm going to start it here. It's going to come down to here. Yeah, I like that. Look at that. That's nice. Yeah, I'm making a lot of this up as I go, so. It's nice with a made-up creature. I don't have to make it look like anyone else's Neogi. One of the nice things about D&D is like, you know what? You don't like the way that someone else has done it? Do it different. Just do it. Who cares? The D&D police aren't going to come get you. Like, no one cares if you do it differently. You do you. Alright, but I am going to get the grab tool. Where'd you go? There you are. Let's make this a little smoother. There you go. Look at that. Pull it up a little bit. Pull this bit down. This out. In. Out a little bit. There. Now it's a smoother sort of a line. I like that. Get that flow line that goes. It's not super smooth, which kind of helps with the organic feeling, but overall the impression is of a nice smooth line. Oh, the enemy of my enemy is my enemy. Neogi proverb. Yeah, I like that. Burnbird has a Sanskrit word for appointed or assigned. So this creature is about the size of like a small dog. It's much bigger than it should be. So like what can I put in here? I'll try to import something that's about human size. I don't have a whole lot of human characters ready. But let's see, what can file. Let's grab a Geth. Let's see, collection. Grab Geth, bring him in. Okay, so let's scale this guy to be proper scale. So let's switch units too. Where am I? World settings, where'd you go? See, they changed everything around and now I don't know. Units, here we go. So we're gonna go to metric. Okay, so this guy's 1.86 meters, so he's already the correct size that I want him to be, basically. This guy would be... Oh, that's 2. That's about right. Well, okay, maybe a little bigger. That's actually pretty small for it. That's about here. So that's about the height of a human. That's about how big this guy is. Maybe a little smaller, somewhere around here. It's a little up in the air. Basically, it's not as big as a person. Yeah, so that's about the scale that we're talking about here. I'll give this guy a material, just because, why not? I call it Yogi. Oh, we're gonna up that roughness a bit. Hey, it's Godzilla. Make him a little brown, because they seem to be brown in most of the art. Let's add a little bit of subsurface scattering, because why not? Like, yeah, that's pretty good. So, yeah, that's about the scale that we're looking at. But the scary part about them isn't really their anatomy, it's their mind control powers, but, you know, whatever. Yeah. So I did not make this. This is a grip from Mass Effect 3, by the way. Straight up stolen. And now I need to clean up that data. We're gonna apply the scale. Let's just clear the scale. Clear scale. I'm fine with working in weird scales, but oh, wait. What is this? Oh, it's from the Geth. Where are you? Alright, fine, let's just apply the scale, because apparently those are at different scales, and I don't know why. So we're just going to apply the scale. There you go. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is there. It doesn't really matter. It's better to work in real scale anyway. They have mind control powers where they control your mind. I don't know how many kinds of mind control are there. I don't really know. Not an expert on the mind control. But Godzilla roared, so I should check it. Drag that screen. Oh my goodness, my phone's being a dick. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Alright, let's see, what else do I want to do? Let's give this area, like these shoulders, I feel like they should have something sweeping back along here to make it look like a pectoral girdle, not because it's super realistic, but I just think it would look cool. And I think part of that is like, we can imagine like there's some muscle or something under there. So we'll just get something like this. Oh, are we getting Dynatopo on here? Yeah, let's turn on Dynatopo. So yeah, we get some of this. Kind of bulge a little bit out here. And then, by the way, sorry that there's some extra noise. That's my my temperature control going, which actually I'm going to shut off pretty soon because I don't really need it much. But the center part needs a little bit more definition. But we're going to use the inflate tool, I think, which is where to go. There it is. See, they move everything around. There we go. Steve is private on Twitter. I mean, yeah, he goes private on Twitter every once in a while. I don't blame him. Steve gets a lot of, I don't really like those. A lot of what I would say is probably harassment. And I don't blame him that he would occasionally takes breaks from being public on Twitter. I would too. And then everyone's like, oh, hey, did you hear about this thing that Steve did allegedly? And I'm like, well, where did he do it? And everyone's like, I don't know. I don't know. But then again, I don't know everything. I don't know. Although people seem to think that I'm closer to Steve than I actually am. We don't really talk all that much. But. So we're getting these little ridges in here. And sort of imagining that there's like vertebrae under here. And like each one gets installed in a little ridge. And then I'm going to turn this smooth power up a fair bit. Just smooth. Actually, I want the fall off to be different. What do I want? Texture, stroke. Nope, not stroke. See, I'm changing everything. Come on. Where's my curves? I'll just turn it down. Just go over it a couple times. Just want them to blend smoothly. All right, it's not bad. Now it gets a little bad down here though. All right, let's go back over this. Smooth out, smooth out, smooth out, smooth out. Come on. There we go. Okay. You check it maybe once a week, Twitter. Yeah, breaking for Twitter here goes. Yeah, Twitter is the worst. I literally only have Twitter because I have a YouTube channel that I'm trying to grow. Like, that's really it. Like, I can't stand Twitter most of the time. And sure, I mean, I get some, news or whatever from people on Twitter, but like, my goodness, do I hate Twitter. Yeah, not my preferred platform. All right, it's time to kind of, oops, I'm gonna go to subtract on this. I'm gonna carve out the mouth here. I'm not gonna give it much of like a throat, do a little bit. I feel like, if I'm gonna do like an open mouth pose, there should be something in here. And normally I do something like where I'll extend it down like past where this ear is, but I just don't care right now. I know, weird, right? Gotta smooth that out, that's weird. Here we are. Out of here. Stop being weird. Yeah, and so when I do the actual like texture painting on this, I'm probably just gonna make that like fade to black there. So gives you the vague illusion that there's something down there. And I don't know if I'm gonna have a tongue. I might. It might actually just end up being a separate mesh. I don't know. Or it just might be a separate mesh initially, and then I just kind of merge it in. So there's some options. I got options. Everything's. Stronger. Whoa, that was a lot too strong. Maybe that. Yeah, there's a happy medium right there. Like, I'll make this a little stronger. Turn it up to 11. All right. I want a nice, well-defined edge to this jaw, and then we're gonna smooth it out and give it some ridges. So. I'll turn that up a little bit. All right. That actually, I kind of like that. It's kind of chaotic in there, on the bottom. Okay. Oh, he's smiling? Yeah. He really won't look like that when I'm done. You will not get the impression that he's smiling at you by the time I finish. Promise. Actually, I'm gonna bring, I think, this out a little bit. Where'd grab go? So I definitely want it so that when the jaw closes, like when it hinges shut, that the upper lip is a little bit bigger than the lower lip. So, yeah. Spider requires offering perhaps a meal from McDonald's. Maybe. If he wants a meal from McDonald's, though, he's just gonna, like, mind control you and force you to do it because now you're his slave forever. Alright, so let's add in some basic, I was gonna say eyelashes, but I mean eyelids. Alright, so, whoa! Just turn that down a little bit, go to add. I know what I'm doing, I've used this computer before. Alright, let's, something like that. We'll just mirror it out here. Something like that, and I'm gonna get another ridge going here. Well, I'll make it a little weaker. Still there, but like subtle underneath here. Okay. And then I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna bring it out sort of in the middle point here. Bring this side out a little bit. Okay. Bring it down. Oh, I want to get to exact side view. There we go. Bring it a little in. Make him seem a little sinister. Because, you know, he's out to take you as his slave. There. That's better. Alright, we got a little bit of cleanup work to do with our smooth brush. Nice. Look at that. Look at that. That's getting better. Of course, I clicked away from chat, so I can't see what people are doing. It's ready to come. It's enemies to death. Actually, the next thing I might do after I finish with these eyelids is actually get out of sculpt mode and add some teeth. Because I feel like it's... When you're doing faces, it's important to really have the anatomy that you want in there in the final project to at least be somewhat around. Which way do I want these to close? I'm gonna close this way or this way? What seems more... I have them closed like this way, I think. So, I'm gonna, oops. Yeah, 5, there we go. Come on. There's certain angles that Blender likes to be weird about. Okay, so get this down a little bit. Alright, so turn this up. Cool. There we go. So get some eyelid going. Some subtle secondary bits going there. There we go. Okay, we'll grab the grab tool again. You're gonna get bigger. Come on, like this. Like that. Keep it fairly smooth, maybe? No? No, it's gonna be weird. Alright, fine. Be weird, I don't care. Fix it later. Part's coming down. Godzilla! Gojira! Alright, there we go. Yeah, it looks weird. I like it. The goal of those eyes is just to be there to be weird. Like, there's no other point to them. They don't have to make sense. Yeah. Most novel areas. Okay. Yeah, let's make some teeth, right? No one wants this no tooth thing, right? We want teeth. People are here for scary monsters. They want to see teeth. So let's make that happen. All right. So my usual method for making a tooth actually starts with a cube, because I like to keep my teeth very simple. So grab those. Switch out of 3D cursor. Okay, whatever. Medium point. Here we go. So give it a slight curve, not much, a little one. Okay, and this is going to be just overall a fairly skinny needle-like tooth. So scale it down a lot. Oh, yeah, I just need these vertices. Alright, so that's pretty needle-like. Then I get rid of this top face. Face. There you go. Make it little tiny. Little tiny. Alright, and then scale it down. Scale it down a lot more. Up a little bit. Just kind of make it look good. There we go. Then I just start kind of placing them. Give a couple of them a little bit of a size increase. Maybe some. Whoop. Oh. There we go. Some of them towards the back, maybe get a little bit smaller. Guy, maybe he'll get really small. Baby tooth. Okay, let's scale this guy up a little bit. There we go. Alright, then place him in the jaw more accurately. Oh. Yeah, this is the kind of thing where you really benefit from knowing the hotkeys. Like, seriously, learn the hotkeys if you're going to learn Blender. It will save you so much time. It's hard to overestimate how useful hotkeys are in Blender. Because, yeah. If you had to do all this from menus, oh my goodness. I wouldn't do it. Sorry, I got try not to be a bad friend. Okay, sorry. I would normally have turned this off for most streams, but this is my off-topic channel. It's not all that serious. I'm just here to have fun. So, yeah. Come on. There we go. All right, and then I like to add a few teeth in the middle. Well, that's not a great view. Now we'll go like that. There we go. Actually, first I'm going to add in the mirror modifier. So, add a modifier, mirror. There we go. So that way I can see how close to the center line I am. So usually only add about 2 teeth this way. And then I'm going to scale them down a little bit. These ones are going to scale down a little bit. So there we go. Some nice needle-like teeth. Look at that. You don't want to meet that guy. The dark alley. All right. So then what we do is grab one of these teeth where I really haven't changed the size very much. Duplicate it. I'm going to go SZ -1. Rotate it here. Let's see. Which way are my normals pointing? Oh. Mesh UVs. Still not used to all of it. Vertex? You know what? I'm just gonna do this. Recalculate normals. Okay. So that should give us correct normals. And then we're gonna do this again. There. So this is just a really simple way to make teeth. Like if you're trying to do super accurate teeth, you should be more detailed than this, but I really can't be bothered, honestly. Like, come on. They're monster teeth, who cares? Like, have fun with it. Don't kill yourself on the teeth. Because no one is gonna go and double check your dental work. And also, if you go, the more work you do on something, the more work it's going to take for the computer as a general rule to actually make it happen. So be careful with that. So we're only going to do one set of teeth here. We're going to make them pretty small. And yeah. We'll leave this as sort of like a little beak-like thing. Okay. Let's see. You guys are talking about the Bible, huh? That's cool. That is definitely allowed to talk about the Bible. I was talking about the Quran. Alright, let's get this more in the middle. So the other thing that this lets me do once I have the teeth in here is I can sculpt around them to actually integrate them into the final mesh a little bit easier. Alright, so there we go. We have some wonderful teeth. I think that gives them a lot of character. Look at that. That makes him significantly scarier. I don't think it's a solid metal dome, Maya, because I think the idea is supposed to be that it's transparent, but then again, I'm not a biblical scholar. I don't know. Alright. Let's go back to sculpt mode. Go to draw. Alright, now here is where I need to really look at some stuff here, because I'm going with the moray eel kind of look, right? So they have these weird little tubes that come out of their noses are like weird little tubes. I don't know how to describe it, but it's true. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have this set to add, and we're just going to get a weird little tube that comes out of the nose. All right, and then we're gonna grab it, pull it up. There we go. We're a little tube face. All right, then we're gonna inflate the whole thing. Inflate. Actually, first I'm gonna mask off the outside here because I don't want any of this. Come on, mask. Oh, I have it set to subtract. Yeah, we don't want this getting inflated. Just the actual bit that we're working on is what we want inflated. So I'm going to mask off as much of this as I need to. Okay, then we're going to go to inflate. Where'd you go? There you are. You get this pretty powerful on here. Yeah. There we go. Dinotopo on that. All right, so I want this to be significantly more dense mesh than it is right now. So we're just gonna draw this. Most of that's gonna get smoothed away anyway. Scrape this away. Really want it there. Okay. I want these to basically be actual tubes, but I just was doing that to get the poly count up there so I could work on it more easily without weirdness happening. All right, so then, all right. That way lower. Make this rounder. Yeah, this edge needs to be rounder. All right, go back to smooth. Smooth away all this crap. Come on. Come on. Oh. Oh. No. Right, come on. Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, so now we got this weird little tube thing, right? Good. Okay. Punch a hole in it. Big ol' hole. There we go. That's good enough. Alright, and then we're gonna do some more scraping. Boy. Nice and rounded. Oh, yeah. Smooth that out with some drawing, followed by some actual smoothing. Okay. There we go. Oh, weird little tentacle bits. And let's see what Godzilla's up to. Alright, let's get our mask back. Subtract, get rid of this. I do not like to have a mask out if I don't need it out. Alright, but we're gonna make these sections here a little bit more, what are we gonna add? A little bit more interesting. So we're gonna give them a little bit of a circle here. Give them another, kind of like the eyes, except they don't really close, so they don't have a particular, like a corner like the eyes do. In fact, actually, I want to give the eyes a little bit more of a corner. So we're going to grab this down here, pinch it a little bit, out here, here. Then we're actually going to grab the pinch tool, and we're going to pinch it a little bit. Just a little pinching, pinch. Pinching. There you go. Let me grab this again because I forgot to smooth this area. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, you guys are getting a little peek behind the creature creation process. What do you think? Is it pretty neat? Oh, water. Wait, did we start talking about Kent Hovind? Oh man, I don't know if I like that. I'm Kent Hovind on my other channel too? My goodness, you guys really want me to go get drunk, don't you? You come in here like, oh hey, Dapper Sober. Let's talk about things that make you want to get absolutely hammered. Okay, so I'm gonna add in a little like eye ridge here. So let's see. Let's turn this up a bit. So we're gonna get a big ol' eye ridge here. Just there we go. So the idea here is like, okay, this is gonna help keep some of the what it is, like the sunlight, you know, out of the main eyes. Because my idea is basically like these eyes are like secondary to help like look up, and they're smaller, they don't collect as much light, and maybe they have like smaller pupils or whatever when I'm done. But these eyes here are bigger and they have bigger pupils and they're more sensitive to sunlight. So we're gonna pretty substantial ridge here. It's gonna help protect them. It also makes it look like angry and menacing. So I like to have good reasons in some cases for some of my stuff. You know, like like the anatomy doesn't have to be realistic in the sense that like something like this could exist on Earth. But I want it to be something that like if you looked at it, you could be like, I could see it existing as a functional organism. Like it's not obviously broken. You know? Let's get this better defined here. Yeah, we're gonna have to pull that out a little bit. So we're gonna grab it, yank it out. So there you go. So now, actually, I mean, I can just show you. So if I go to scene lights, scene world, do I even have a light in here? All right, so we're gonna make this a sun lamp. We're gonna make the angle pretty low. I'm gonna turn the strength to a normal strength, and let's just turn the world down a little bit. World color is going down, so that way we can see the shadows more easily. Then I'm gonna Alt-R to clear that rotation, so now the sun is just pointing straight down. So you can see that that's, well, actually we'll turn the sun size down even more. All right, well, maybe we'll just go to render view. Yeah, so that's gonna help. Oh wait, why is the bridges? Why are the bridges gone? Whatever. But yeah, so that's gonna cast shadows down, right? So from a lot of angles, yeah, tunnel. Not bad. I do want to know why is that? Why are those ridges gone? Why aren't they there in object mode? Or in rendered mode? Really weird. Whatever. What if I save it? And then go to rendered view. There they are! Yeah, you can see it even better because rendered view has better shadows. So yeah, you can see how that's keeping a lot of the direct sunlight off of his eyes. So, yeah. Oh, come on, phone. It's like, oh, hey, we're just gonna not register your button presses. Sorry about that. All right, so one thing we can actually do is let's actually get rid of this lamp. I don't want it here. Get rid of it. Oh, it's dark, whatever. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use nodes. We're gonna use an environment texture. Oh, that's garish. We don't want that. I don't like that. All right, Blender files, HDR, Studio. No, I don't want this. Sunset, morning. Marine, cloudy day, outdoor, hazy. Do I have one in here too? Let's do sunset sky. All right, we're gonna rotate that sun so it's shining more on the front of them. All right, so if I rotate it, let's give it 100 degrees and see how that looks. We're gonna do it from here for faster. Scene world, scene lights. Yep. Okay. So this is just helping me visualize it a little bit with like real lighting. Yeah, it is hard to handle a phone without thumbs. Have you ever seen my collab with FTFE on his channel? Check that out because we go into that a little bit. I'm going to turn it down a little bit though because it's starting to get a little incessant. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna go to shader editor, go to world. Okay, vector. Where we go? Is it not that? Is it input? Yeah, texture coordinate. That's what I'm looking for. All right, generated, and then we're gonna go vector mapping. Here we go. And then we're just going to rotate it about 100 degrees. That's pretty good. Actually, you know what? I kind of want it on the other side, so we're going to... Well, I'm not sculpting from that side, so we should really have it on the side that I'm sculpting from. There we go. Look at that. That's some nice, lighting. You can give him a ground plane to make him look a little bit more. I can just give this a crappy material. Call it floor. Material shader editor. This is just really to help me visualize how this is going to look. Like there's really very little point to doing this, but whatever. It helps. It just helps me feel like how it's actually interacting with real light in a real environment. Okay, texture, let's get some image textures in here. What do I want? Under files, why do I always go into short list? I want it to look like this. Let's get it some dirt. Just do that. Okay, get this one. Unwrap. Grab the UV editor real quick and just see. Yeah, I'll scale it up a little bit. All right. Back to the shader editor. Boom. There you go. Look, he's standing on the ground now. Hooray! All right. Let's grab this guy here. Drop it in here. Oh, come on. Drop it in here. Go to non-color. Invert. There you go. Look at that. And duplicate that one more time. Grab this guy. Grab a vector normal map. Boom. Boom. All right. Now it'll interact a little bit better with the light. I mean, it's still obviously just a crappy plane, but whatever. Oh, why are you in sRGB? Oh, non-color. Stop that. Stupid thing. Oh, it's going in the strength. I want it to go to the color. There we go. That's better. I was thinking it was looking really flat. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now let's go back to rendered view for a little bit and see how it looks. See how our scary spider monster is looking. Every once in a while, you just gotta step back, you know, and just like take a look at it as it's like, how would it look right now if I just stopped? Because one of the things is that no one ever actually stops a art project or finishes an art project. They just stop. Like at a certain point, you're just like, I'm just gonna stop now. Is it done? No, it's never gonna be done. You just stop, and that's okay. That's fine. So, yeah. Uh-oh, Maya, are you and Dark Knights get into a fight? You're gonna have some fisticuffs? Alright, so that's actually looking pretty good. I'm gonna up the number here to 128, so get a few more passes in. But I think this guy's actually starting to come together. He's still slightly on the cartoonish side, but I'm actually kind of okay with that because they're basically cartoonish villains in D&D. Like, it's hard to take them seriously. Like, their entire society is based on a hierarchy of slave ownership where everyone is a slave of someone else, and then that person is also a slave of someone higher up, and they go around in spaceships trying to trade with people who all hate them. Like, it's a little crazy. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, yeah. Alright, we are going to do something with these teeth, though. So we're going to make a material for these teeth. New, we're going to call it teeth. Crazy, right? All right, we are going to go with a transmission. We're going to have an IOR, a pretty high one, 1.7. The roughness is going to go all the way down. Oh goodness. 0.05. There we go. So now he has creepy glass teeth. Check this out. That's going to be pretty good. Roughness needs to go up a little bit more. Let's go to 0.1. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm also going to turn off refractive caustics just to make this easier on my poor computer and less noisy. Where is it? Light paths. I don't need caustics at all. No caustics. Get out of here, caustics. We don't need you. There we go. Slavery is pretty funny. I mean, I'd normally think of it as the opposite of that. Although it comes up fairly frequently with bad guy races. But every once in a while, I toss it into a game to create a moral dilemma. So, like, my players right now, they are simultaneously trying to get military aid for their homeland, but they have to pass through an area that has a lot of slavery going on. And, you know, obviously none of them are fans of it, because where they're from, that's super not okay. But then the other question is, like, okay, but there's an actual existential crisis where we're from going on. So if we stop here to try and free all the slaves, is everyone back home going to die? And if we don't, what about the people here? They might die. In fact, some of them will. There are no solutions where people aren't going to end up pretty badly off because of it. So, it's something you can use to create that sort of storytelling moment where, like, the players have to stop and think, like, what is actually the thing that we want to do here? Who are we going to help? Because you can't help everyone. So, well, yeah, I mean, they're cartoonish villains. They're a strange group. They don't make much sense. But that's kind of the case for a lot of D&D stuff. So, like, if you think about a lot of D&D stuff too hard, it kind of stops making a lot of sense. But that's okay. It doesn't have to make a whole lot of sense. It just has to be fun. All right, so let's go back into sculpt mode. We're gonna get to draw. That strength is probably fine. I'm gonna add a little bit of, like, oh, I'm on the teeth, aren't I? No, I was on that guy. Why wasn't I getting any, Oh, I had Dinotopo turned off. There you go. I was like, oh, sure, you can draw it with, like, the 4 vertices you have. Just gonna extend this a little bit and make it sort of something kind of sweeps down the face. Let's get that on. There we go. It's gonna help define this nose for us. And it sort of gives it, like, the Jurassic Park Velociraptor look, which will help the front of the face seem a little bit more threatening and less, a little less goofy. Because they don't have to look super threatening and whatever, because, you know, they are sort of ridiculous, but, like, they shouldn't look like a joke. There should be some threat there, some menace. And I think that helps. And so we can just assume that there's something underlying it in the skull or something, whatever. Smooth that out a little bit. Also helps me get some more topology here, so when I go back and actually start texturing, I have to do so much of this smoothing things out as I'm texturing, because that is a gigantic pain. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. That definitely adds a sense of threat to them. Yeah, that's pretty good. You know what, though? While I'm sculpting, I don't want this here. Go away, ground plane. Alright, can I turn off the actual view of the background here? Because it's a little distracting. If I go and turn this transparent, does it go away? No, of course not. Why would it go away? Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Did I set these to shade smooth? Object, shade smooth. I did not. They were not on shade smooth. Ugh. Dapper, you're an idiot. Yeah. Alright, we need something here. Like, there needs to be some hint that there's some kind of underlying structure. Because right now, these top eyes are just sort of pasted on there. I don't really like that. So, let's draw in some, like, let's connect it up here. And then we'll draw something back here. And then that will flow into this. And then we'll have something here. So yeah, it'll just add a little bit of definition up there. And like there's something going on in the skull here. Like, this is an actual part of the animal that belongs there. It wasn't just made up by me, even though it was totally just made up by me. And to keep that theme, give it a nice little make it a little bit more subtle, but a little ridge down the middle. Yeah, and then it's looking a little funny, so we'll get some ridges here. Give them a little, yeah, so that way it doesn't pull. This doesn't seem like it's just a face, but it's got a little bit of a face thing going. Okay, we'll smooth that out a little bit. This is a little bit too defined, but too much like a nose there. There we go. Now you get a little hint that like there's stuff going on over there. It's a thing. All right, we're gonna connect this ridge up here. Fine. Okay. Move that a little. There we go. That's better. All right, let's get some work on the ear. It's going to be pretty similar to the nose, I think. Loops. Smooth it out. Smooth. All right. There we go. Basic shapes. Just getting the basic shapes down. Let me give it some like muscle and stuff here. Draw this out. Shape. There we go. It's got a little now. It's got a little bit more definition to that jawline. A little bit, not too much. Less of a ridge and more of just a thickening of the jaw near where the muscles might be. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and then I want there to be sort of an indentation here. So we're going to turn off scene lights for a second. A little bit here. A little stronger, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Oop, that's a bit much. Maybe not that strong. Maybe like this. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. Okay, we're gonna follow it up this way a little bit more. Oops, forgot to go on reverse. There we go. Okay. Better. I mean, I like it. It's sort of giving me like an alien and sort of like a velociraptor and like a little Jurassic Park velociraptor, not real velociraptor, but like it's a little alien. It's a little bit eel. It's a little bit velociraptor. I like this. This is pretty good. What do you guys think? A little snarl. Maybe I can downturn this section here, make it a little bit like less smiley and more like mean, like, I don't like you. It's the kind of creature that would like tell the kids to get off of its lawn. Because I feel like if this guy has a lawn, he does not want your kids on it. Smaller. There we go. That's a little bit less of a smile. Because one of the things is, like, I mean, look at this guy. He doesn't really have, like, lips or anything, so, like, he couldn't actually change his expression very well. But you want it to look, you don't want it to look like he's smiling. You want it to look menacing. And also, we're going to get more definition out of this if we bring it down and shrink it rather than just leaving it, like, embedded most of the way. Yeah, that's better. Get more curve that way. Okay. Let's tell. Oh, it's just because I'm in perspective mode really close. Like if I. Let's see. Like, you get really close to it and you get a sort of false sense of the proportions, but like if I go here and I just zoom in, yeah, you see the face isn't really as broad as you think it is when you're really close to it. So that's good. Just get this camera out of the way. I don't need a camera here. Cameras are good, but whatever. Let's see. Wait, this like ridge pattern stops a little bit too early. I want to fix that. So let's see what we got here. Draw mode. Let's make it a little. There we go. That's better. All right, let's get a little work done on these legs. They're too square right now, so we're gonna work on that by fattening them up a little bit on 3 of the sides. I'm okay with the bottom being flattish because I feel like flat would actually help them articulate a little bit better. But I don't want it to feel. Oh, I don't have Dinotopo on. There you go. There's a problem. Yeah, I don't want them to feel boxy. They're boxy right now. That's not a good look. You don't want your organic models to be boxy. Make them nice and smooth. And then afterwards, if you want to get like an angular, sharp feel, give them things that are sharp and angular to wear, as opposed to just being sharp and angular. Because artificial things tend to be very boxy and have right angles and 45-degree angles and things like that. The kinds of things you read about in, what do you call it? Geometry books. Let's see. Wait, Dark Knight Apologetics, you care about what experts say? What kind of crazy religious wingnut are you? The kind that's not crazy and wingnutty? That kind? That's the best kind. It's the kind of like... Alright, yep. Just get the general shape in here, make it less boxy. Oh, actually, I should probably turn this down a little bit. There we go. All right, now we can smooth that out, get rid of some of this weird artifacts of the fact that Blender doesn't really know what to do with the dynamic topology yet. The Dynatopo tool like didn't even exist when I started using Blender. That's I don't know if that's a great measure of how old it is, since I've been using Blender for 7, 8 years now. My goodness, old. I wasn't exactly a baby when I started using it. But yeah, it's one of the reasons I want ZBrush, because it handles these things a lot better. Like, I wouldn't have to really go through this process of trying to smooth everything out right after I sculpt the basic forms. But well, you work with the tools you have, and it's not going to hold me back from making this a good model. So not too. Yep, I can handle it. Just gotta know about it. If you're gonna do Blender, you have to know what the limitations are. And I mean, for a free program, Blender is amazing. It's actually up there with a lot of paid production-ready 3D programs. I mean, it's been used in professional settings, like what is it, Man in the High Castle? If you ever watched Man in the High Castle, all the special effects are done in Blender. They're not composited in Blender. They're composited, I believe, in After Effects, but they are all constructed and rendered out in Blender. So, yeah. And a lot of the scenes that you don't think have special effects do. Almost every single shot in that show has significant amounts of CGI fakery. I didn't realize how much it was until I watched a documentary about the special effects. I think it was on YouTube, but I'm not really sure. So, yeah, it's wild. Alright, let's make this look less like a ball. So I'm going to scrape out this middle bit here. Work a lot harder at scraping it out. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to flatten this bit here. There we go. Let's actually get the real flatten tool and actually flatten it out a little bit. All right, awesome. And then I'm going to flatten out the sort of mirror side here. It doesn't have to be identical though, because they're different sides of the hand. I don't want the hands to be mirrored themselves. Okay, it's getting there. Let's do some more scraping though. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. Let's turn this up really high. I'm tired of. It's taking too long, guys. Too long. Unacceptable. All right. I'll smooth this edge a little bit. There we go. Smooth that transition out there. There. That looks a little bit more like, there's actual muscle behind there, and it's gonna help move, or maybe there's a bone. I don't know. We're also going to deflate this section because it's too bulbous. There really should be like a concavity there. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Okay, and then we'll smooth that out again, just because we got the general shape in it. And then, you know what? I'll scrape out that area too. So we're gonna scrape this here, and this, and then we're gonna smooth that out again. So it doesn't look like it has such hard lines on it. All right, so that looks more like actual biological stuff. So that's always good. Actual biology is a plus. You're doing an organism. Let's see. We're also going to deflate this section here, because that's a little crazy. I went a little big on the spheres here, but it helped me get the angle I was looking for. So I mean, I don't regret it, but yeah, it needs to change. This is a little crazy. Same thing with these little, I don't know, elbows. It's got too many joints in its arm anyway, which is helping me get that nice alien effect I'm looking for. There we go. That's looking not too bad. What do you guys think? Yeah, it has hit the 2 hour mark. We are at 2 hour, almost 2.5 hours at this point. Might not end up being 3 hours. I don't know. People, if you want to watch this again to get like, oh hey, what's he doing? I would recommend watching on ×2 speed because my goodness, yeah, it's pretty slow. Actually, I'm gonna deflate these little knuckle areas too, because they're a little bit too big. I just feel like, yeah, this needs to come down a little bit. That's better. I'll get this hand part in a little bit. Smooth out some of these lines. Okay. Alright, but we need to get some... The thumbs are now a little bit deficient looking, so let's push that out a little bit. Get a little ridge here, so it looks like there's some musculature behind the thumb. And we'll put a little ridge through here running from the thumb. I'm just calling it a thumb because it's the thing that opposes the other digits. I mean, and I gave it one less joint than the other, so it's thumb-like, but how analogous is it to a real thumb? I don't know. But looking good. It's nice to have something calm in the background while doing all this translating, so thanks, man. Oh, well, I'm really glad. I'm glad that's helping, and Dark Knight Apologetics says it's looking good. Thank you very much. Yeah, you guys are getting a little inside look at how I do a lot of this creature creation stuff. Eventually, I'd like to put this up somewhere that I can sell it on. So eventually you may be able to buy this model. I'll have to look into exactly where I want it. It'll probably be on like TurboSquid, maybe Sketchfab, depending on how much work I do on it. You might be able to get it in like the Unity store or something like that if I make it game ready. Which I might. It's not like it's expensive to get Unity. It's free. Just check, does it work with Unity? And when it does, I'm like, all right, well, you can use it in Unity now. All right, we're getting a little bit. Here we go. A little too pinchy there, right there. All right, and then we want to inflate these areas. Oh, inflate area around here because that's starting to look a little right. There we go. All right, so that's looking a little tentacle-y. So I'm gonna grab this here and, well, change the size of my brush first. There we go. Grab it, pull it up, give it sort of a knuckle look. And then I'll do the same thing here, just up a little bit so it looks like there's a single joint. Only articulates in one point, right? It's not a tentacle. Not a tentacle. Finger that can only move in a particular direction, at least at that point. And let's beef up this top part here. There we go. This still has too much curve to it. Let's grab it again, just straighten it out. The finger sections can be a little bit curved, but I don't want them to be too curved, because then it becomes too much like a smooth line. Okay, that's not bad. I'll go back and do more work on it later, but that's all right. Yeah. All right. It's time to object. Gonna unhide all this stuff. Actually, I can rehide this stuff. Just gonna put this in base mesh. And then we're going to turn base mesh off after I go to view layer. Here we go. So this stuff is going to base mesh, and we're going to turn base mesh off. Oh, you're also going to base mesh. And so are you. Okay, so now I can hide things, unhide them, all that crap doesn't go away, but it's still there. Good, 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 good. All right, I'm also gonna turn, oh, never mind, the sun isn't even here anymore, it's just an HDRI. All right, let's do a quick test render. Let's see how this thing actually looks. We'll get the camera, set it to viewport display, get some composition guides in here. There we go. 35 millimeters. We're actually going to turn it up a little bit. Okay, that's pretty good. Drop it. We don't want it to look too big because it's actually a fairly small creature. So I want there to be a sort of a, yeah, that's a pretty good angle. That's the sort of angle you might view something like this from. So we're not going to really have any sky in here or anything like that. I just blow this up a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. We're also going to have it in focus at the eye. So what I like to do for this is I added an empty. I name it focal point. Then, let's see. I go back to my camera tab, turn on depth of field. Everything gets all blurry, and then I choose the focal point. And then we're actually going to turn the f-stop down quite a bit. We're going to go like 1.2 because this is a very small creature. And higher depth of field makes things feel smaller. 4 a.m. My goodness. Well, you got to get that assignment done, I guess. All right, so let's save this because I haven't saved in like 2 hours. Oh, that could be bad. Blender has some pretty good autosave features, though. So, okay. Okay. So, I'm going to change the way that Blender is dealing with the color. I always forget which tab it's in. Because again, they moved everything. Not under light paths. Color management, here we go. So we're going to go to Filmic, and we're going to turn up the world a little bit. Let's get it to 1.5. That's a little bit better. Okay, so let's get a quick scene set up here. So we're going to add in ambient occlusion. Okay. Where do I want to go? Let's go to the compositor. We're going to use those because otherwise, what's the point of the compositor? All right, so let's add in a color mix, multiply ambient occlusion by 0.6. Not 7. 6 is a bit high, or 7 is a bit high. All right, then we'll add in a, let's see, we're going to go distort, get some lens distortion in. 0.1, 0.1. That way it's like you know it's there, but it doesn't jump out at you. Then let's just put in a simple fog glow. So let's see. We'll add in filter, glare. We're going to change it to fog glow. Threshold 1, mix sizing. Yeah, that should be fine. All right. 3D viewport again. Okay, we're going to turn on denoising. Change it to GPU compute. Performance, we're going to get bigger tiles. I like 128 by 128. Your mileage may vary. Turn the percent size up to 100 because I hate tiny little files. Hit save again. And here is where, here's where I maybe crash my computer, but hopefully not. So let's render a test image. See how this looks. Okay. So I can already see one thing. I want the arm segments to get thinner as they go like distally. So I need to beef up the proximal sections. Like the proximal and the medial section on the arm need to be a little bit beefier. The end bit can be nice and skinny like it is, so it gets that kind of creepy spidery look. But right now it just looks like it's not strong enough to pick anything up. Like where's the stress gonna go? So yeah. Okay. So one thing that this is helping me do is this nice full rendered low noise image is going to help me see like what parts really don't feel like they're working yet. The legs are a big one, but I haven't spent much time there. So that's a big part that I need to really work on. Godzilla! So. How we doing? Okay. Yeah, this is going pretty well. I like that face. I was a little worried I wouldn't, really. I was a little bit like, is it gonna be any good? I don't know. Might be terrible, like who knows? But no, I actually think that I think it works. It's menacing. It seems to have some malice behind it. The little nose thing makes it creepy. The secondary eyes, like you don't notice them at first, but then you do, and you're like, oh, it's got too many eyes, too many legs, too many eyes, too many joints in its arm. Why has it got a spider body with an eel head? Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm liking this so far. Okay, and there's our compositor stuff done. Yeah, you know, I'm liking this thing. This is pretty good. What do you guys think? I think video on the cardinal directions in paleontology is important for paleontology enthusiasts. Yes, actually, I'm working on that, Adam Morgan. I did the script for such a video today. We're going to use a 3D replica of the Stan T-Rex. So I have the Stan T-Rex replica. I shared it on my patron Discord server. So they get lots of previews of lots of stuff. So looks really cool. Thank you, Mr. Serious. I am pretty happy with it, really. Can you own it as a pet? No, it might end up owning you as a pet, actually. Yeah. But overall, I'm actually pretty happy with how this is turning out. I think it'll be pretty good. I'm now considering adding a tongue. I feel like it would be more menacing if it had a tongue. Like, because then you would get the idea that, like, oh, this thing could talk or something like that. Because they can talk. That's one of the things. They have a weird language that no one can pronounce. And they usually use telepathy. But they can actually use, like, regular human words somehow, despite not having the anatomy for it. But I feel like a tongue would make that more obvious that that's a thing. So, wrong thing. One thing I really hate about this new version of Blender is that, so this little button here and this little button here, These are the buttons that change which kind of window you're in. But it used to be that they were always down here, right? They were always lower left. But now, oh, it just changes. Top right. Oh, now it's bottom left again. Image editor. Oh, now it's top left. Like, I don't... Why? Stop it. Just put them in the same place every time. And I don't know how to change that as a setting. And it could lick you, which would be pretty icky. Yeah, that... Thanks. I had not really thought about that. Alright, where's Eldar? Let's clear the thing here. Just hide it. You can go into a... I like to have a collection called Scene Utility. And that's where I put things like cameras and empties and stuff like that that I don't really super need when I'm working on a scene. So that's going to go into Scene Utility 2. And Scene Utility is going off. Just go away, Scene Utility. Alright, let's check on the Godzilla. How's Godzilla doing? Oh, if I can type in my password correctly. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna hide these teeth because they're a little distracting. Because I have to work in some pretty tight corners. We also need to mask off a lot of stuff. So let's go to sculpt mode. Dynatopo off. We're gonna mask. I've learned that using dynamic topology and masks is not always your greatest bet. Like, maybe don't do that ever at all in your entire life. Because Blender really doesn't know how to do it, and then it creates all sorts of, like, just absolutely terrible geometry problems. Like, there are a few areas on my Dapper Dino. You probably can't see them because, like, they're pretty well hidden and hard to see at the resolution I'm usually working at. But, oh, they exist, and they are ugly, and I wish I could fix it, but that would probably take months, or possibly even require a redo, and the original took months, and I'm not redoing it. So, no. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little section here. Oh, turn the Dynatopo on. Yeah, I know it has mesh data, and dynamic topology won't preserve it. Oh, here. There we go. Grab a little bit here. Just to sort of start the tongue. Alright, and then we're going to use the snake hook tool, which is a tool I basically never use. But whatever. I'm going to draw out a little tongue. And then we are going to smooth it out at the tip, because I don't know why it does that, but it does. Go, little tongue. Then we're going to fatten it out by just drawing on it. We're going to fatten it out more towards the proximal edge, though. I kind of like having it a little like a vertical or horizontal ridge. Like, kind of projects up like, I don't know, dorsolaterally, basically. Yeah. But I also want to pull this out, so I'm just going to use the grab tool. Just that shape more like spatula. Have a taper. Whole way. There we go. That's a pretty decent tongue. I'm going to grab this bit here, though, and kind of also make it so it tapers distally in the dorsoventral direction. And then we're going to smooth that out a little bit. Bit smooth. There you are. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty good. I like that. Wasn't too hard. It can be annoying to have to add in whole parts that weren't in your initial base mesh, but that wasn't too bad. But I do want it to kind of extend farther back, so we're gonna, here we go. Just draw that out, and there you go. All right, let's bring back the teeth. Oh, I guess I have to do that in object mode. All right, first, let's get rid of the this mask. I don't really need it, but whatever. Better safe than sorry. Now we're gonna turn Dynatopo off. There we go, no more mask. Okay. Oh, Adam, leaving T-pose, always. All right, anyways, night, Adam Morgan, thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Yeah. All right, let's go to object mode. Let's bring those teeth back, right? Okay. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a group or a collection, and we're going to call it Yogi. All right. There we go. This can go in a collection called Ground. Okay. I don't want it here right now. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Looking good. A nice little tongue. Yeah. That's nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. What are you guys thinking? You think it's looking pretty good? Still, with that, all those horrible, horrible teeth? Yeah. All right. So we can't beef out the sort of the proximal sections of these arms too much medially. So we're gonna have to do a lot of it in sort of like the lateral direction. Well, that's not too much of a problem though. Okay, so back to sculpt mode. I'm gonna go to draw, turn on Dynatopo. There you go. All right, so they're already sort of tilted in a little bit, so that's a good thing probably. I do notice that the angle is weird here, so we're gonna try and fix that a little bit. Okay, and that's a little better. We're just gonna smooth off where it ends. So we get a little bit of distal taper. There we go. Yeah. So distal taper just a little bit. We're going to do the same. Wanted to have some distal taper on this too. I can have a little bulge in the middle. That's fine. No, that's too. Lower the strength, not raise the strength. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. A little bulge to this joint here. And then we really need to beef up this lateral section. The medial section, less so, because we don't have as much room there. That's really where it intersects near the neck. So we don't want that to be a big of a problem. But it needs to be a pretty strong taper on this section, because I need it to be narrow enough at this end. We're gonna have to add some medial tape. The angles don't cease to make sense. Now we're gonna work much more on this side here. That going, it's looking too flat, so we're gonna add some here, especially on top. There we go. That's starting to look more like something that could actually bear a lot of weight. I mean, they're still spindly, and these creatures aren't exactly physically formidable. Most of the danger comes from their various supernatural powers. Smoothing in here. Played a few games of League while watching this. That's nice. The scale of this thing is crazy. I mean, I don't know, is it? I don't know. Whatever. Alright, so yeah, that's nice. And like the arms actually have some power behind them. Awesome. I'm really liking this guy. Give another one of these ridges. Like the spine is done, but like we really feel like these ridges are done. Make them taper off a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. Smooth this out. Oh, that's too high. A strength though. Yeah, there we go. That out a little bit. Boxy. Yeah, that was very subtle, but you can just tell that the ridges here don't quite end where the neck joins the body. I'm gonna make him a little bit more prominent here and here. Oh yeah, I like that. Can only tell at the right angle. It's good. I like it. This though, this guy, that's way too angular. Get out of here. Even your sharp, well-defined lines. What do you think this is? Some kind of a robot? It's not a robot. It's a biological organism. I do have bad news though. It's getting pretty late here, and I'm probably going to be heading out somewhere around like the 3-ish hours mark. So there is that. Although I do appreciate everyone who has been by. This is pretty great having you guys here. It's nice to do an art stream every once in a while, because you know I do a lot of stuff where it's like creationism and pseudoscience crap and talking about stuff it's not. I mean, it's fun to talk about. Don't get me wrong. I love doing all that stuff, but like, it's not exactly laid back. Like I can't just relax and do it. It's fairly high energy stuff, and even the most believe it or not, the most relaxing thing I do is probably the Kent with Bent. Still, I get way too drunk. Like, yeah. Just want to better define the skull here. And also give it a little bit of bumpiness. Because living things are bumpy. That's just a thing. They're bumpy. Bumpy, bumpy. Yeah, I like art streams. It's not late in America yet. I mean, maybe not for you, but like I woke up at like 5:30 this morning. And it's like coming up on 9. Well, like 8:20. Also, I kind of want to play some video games before I head off to bed. So there's that too. Although I don't actually know if I'm going to. I might just go watch some TV or something. I want to do something where I can turn my brain off for a little bit. This is sort of a mix of like my brain has to be on and my brain can be off. So, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong though. I really am having a lot of fun doing this, but I can't do it all night. There's got to be a limit to how much of it I do, and that limit is fast approaching. So, Yeah. But, you know, in case I get out of here pretty soon, I really do appreciate everyone who's stopping by. It's nice to have, just have people here for this, you know? Having some conversations, doing some art, you know, having fun, showing people weird monsters that they've never heard of. I mean, like, let's be honest. Have any of you heard of this monster before I blasted it all over the internet? No, of course you hadn't. Because why would you? Because that would be weird if you had. It's an obscure monster from Dungeons and Dragons. It doesn't even appear in like the monster manual for any edition. It's that obscure. Like, no one knows what this is. Yeah, I'll keep it on deflate. Get some deflation going here. Ooh, I like that. I like that shape. I'm leaving that there. That's staying how that is. I mean, maybe not entirely, but yeah, for the most part. That's, it's gonna get smoothed out a little bit, but like, no, it's got that nice one. In fact, I'm gonna try and replicate it over here. Grab this, right, smaller. Yeah, there we go. I like that. That's better. Good. Here. Yeah, no, I like that. That's pretty good. Okay. That's that gets an A+ from me. We're gonna smooth it out a little bit though. Angles are a bit sharp. And it's a little bit too concave there. Up a little. What about Dingledors? Yeah, maybe I'll make a Dingledor sometime to figure out what it is. Alright, let's grab the flatten tool. Flatten some of this out. Alright, we'll smooth, well, flatten some of this out too. Get out of here. Okay, smooth tool. Smooth tool to the rescue. Ooh, I kind of like that there's like little fleshy pads underneath this section. I kind of leave that. Like, I like to think of it as like a grip surface, right? Like how do these guys get a good grip on something? Well, with the little flesh pads right before their claws. On their two main fingers. That's how. But this is a little too concave, so we're going to draw in it. Okay, I want to go subtle on it, because I don't want it to go overboard, and then there's a bump there. I almost did just there. Alright, go back to smooth. Some of this kind of artifacting out of here. A little bit strong. Although, get this sort of straight line look out of there. Same thing here. Okay. All right. Some of that out of there so it doesn't look so boxy. All right. I'll get it out of here. There's a few areas where like I can tell the mesh is not clean, and I always try to get rid of those. So if you ever get a weird like flip normal, usually what it means is that some part of the mesh has gone under itself, and a quick use of a low strength smooth tool is usually enough to fix that. Like if I come across another one, I'll show you. Oh, like here's one, right? So this triangle here, it's just weird. If I were to tap into edit mode, it will probably be doing weird things, but if I just tap a couple times, oh, pretty much fixed. Are there any more? I mean, I usually fix them as I go, so probably not too many more. But yeah, little weird things like that happen every once in a while. Because one of the things you gotta remember about this is that it's all just a bunch of crazy math going on under the hood. Like, and you have to be aware of at least how the math works. You don't have to do the math in your head or anything, but you need to be able to predict how it's gonna work at like a macro scale. You need to do that based on some understanding of the underlying math in order to use the program efficiently. So, all right, let's take a look at how the mesh is looking in terms of actual individual vertices. So let's go to edit mode, and that'll take a little bit. Let's get another. That is a dense mesh. Let's see. Yeah, so you can tell, I mean, like, my goodness, that's a lot of triangles right there. That's some craziness. Look at that. Look around the eyes, my goodness. Just turns into a black blob if you scroll out too far. Awesome. But yeah, it tells you, like, where have I really worked and where haven't I, because the less dense the mesh is, the less work I've done there. So like I've done nothing in this little like area where like there's the bridge between the I guess, I don't know, the thorax and the abdomen. I was gonna use like spider terms, but it's not really a spider because it has a distinct head, so whatever. Like yeah, so I've done like no work in there, and so it's just the basic thing, like the feet, little toe things, no work. But then you get to places where I've done a lot of stuff like the eyebrows and stuff, and it just is so dense. Yeah. Pretty sweet. I like it. Okay. Let's go back to object mode. Let's turn back on the ground and scene utility. Alright, we're going to hit Control S. We're going to render out another image, and that's going to end up being the actual final thumbnail for this. Yeah, so many dots and triangles, enough computer power to launch at least one rocket. Yeah, definitely. I think Dingledorfs were a defunct monster from early in D&D. Can't remember properly. But I do think they were a thing. I mean, hey, I don't doubt that they were a thing. D&D has all sorts of crazy random crap in it that no one knows about. All right, we're gonna zoom out a little bit. I just want to get all the legs in frame. So. We're at 75 millimeters. Do one of these. Oh, that puts the ground back. You know what? I feel lazy, so I am going to do this. Add a modifier, array. Direction. There we go. Just gonna put an array modifier in the Y direction and just duplicate the plane out because I do not want to sit here. While there is, yeah, just no. Okay, that's good enough. Save it again, and let's render an image. Is this? Let's see. Looks really good, or really good. Oh, thank you. Is this just a hobby? Did you sculpt from a young age? I started this sculpting like at all. In my late 20s. And actually, even then, it was much more basic than this. I do not sculpt with any physical media. Pretty much just a digital thing. I've really been sculpting characters for maybe a couple years. Actually, the first really big sculpt I did was my first avatar that I used on my main channel. And then I lost those files. And that was probably a year and a half ago that I sculpted that, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. And then oh, hey, welcome back to Elaine. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to be on all that much longer, but then the avatar that I use now, I sat down and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go and make the best damn dinosaur for this channel that I possibly can, because I want that to be my avatar that I use for a while. I want it to be optimized for animating. I want it to have all the fancy textures, all the fancy colors, all that stuff. And so I sculpted it for months. You can actually see some updates on the history if you go back on some of the very early videos on my channel. And that taught me a lot. I got a lot of practice in. I made mistakes. I had to correct them. I had whole sessions that I just had to scrap because it was just no good. It wasn't up to the standard I was setting for myself. And that's really helped me do a lot more work with all this sculpting stuff. So yeah, that was a big learning process, was getting my current avatar done. So yeah, that's basically how I learned to sculpt. And looks like we have finished. So there you go. That is where the current status of the sculpt is. It is, I think, properly horrifying. I feel like the abdomen, the thorax, the face, the arms, all looking pretty good. I think we have their basic shape done and everything. The face, we have a little bit more than that. That's actually pretty well defined. And I like how it's got a little bit of a Velociraptor going. It's got a little bit of like eel, a little bit of alien. These hands, I'm pretty happy with them. They look. I'm not very happy with the thumb knuckle, but I'll fix that later. But overall, they look like they're functional, but creepy, and like they give me like, it's kind of like a Freddy Krueger vibe, like they could stab you or slash you or something. Yeah. So I succeeded on learning to sculpt. Yeah, I mean, I really pushed myself on that Dapper Dino avatar. It was, my goodness, it took forever, and it was fun, but it was exhausting. Every time I would work on it, I would come away and I would just be like, I'm done for the day. That's all I got. But yeah, so eventually I'm hoping to sell this guy. I'm gonna put him up on like various things. I'll just call him a spider monster or something. Whatever. I'll sell him for like, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks. Yeah. Little Yogi guy. Maybe they'll give him clothes at some point. I don't know. In the lore, they wear clothes. Maybe I should name it Arachnosaur. You still want to try owning it as a pet, Dark Knight? I mean, they own each other as pets. So there's that. But yeah, you probably don't want to actually try to own one as a pet. It's not something I recommend. But I'm going to go back into the compositor real quick and just give this a little bit of a vignette. I feel like the corners are a little bit too standoutish. I really want to focus the eye towards the center of the frame. I want you to look at the creature, not the bright spots at the edge of the frame, because they're too bright. So I'm going to go back into the compositor editor. I'm going to add in a, let's see, where's my lips mask? There it is, alphabetical order, right? All right, and then a filter, or color. You know what? I'm just going to duplicate this because that's actually what I want. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to scale this up a bit on the x-axis, so not quite that much. Yeah. Let's go 0.8, 0.6. Really? I'll just kind of hit the borders. That's good. All right. Then we're going to add in a blur node. So filter blur. Switch to fast Gaussian to relative, so I don't have to think about how many pixels, because I'm just going to do 20% by 20%. There we go. Yeah, nice. Do I want to turn it down a little bit? No, let's try it at 0.5. Yeah, there we go. That's what I want. Okay. Yeah, that nice little vignette just helps. It pushes your eye away from the top two corners, which is really where I feel like your eyes are being inappropriately drawn. A little bit of Nessie. It's got a lot of alien. Yeah. I still want to try. Yeah. So yeah, I think that'll be the basis for the thumbnail. Let's make that real quick. So we want to save it. So we're gonna save as. Let's put it in my pictures. Call it. I'm gonna bring up GIMP because why use expensive software when I can use free software? All right, we're gonna open a picture called Nyogi. If I can find it. And there it is. Okay. Yeah, red is actually pretty good because there's a lot of green in the picture, so we'll actually use the red. And we'll do all caps. A little bit bigger. Okay. Actually, let's put this here. And then we'll use the lasso tool here. Here. We're gonna get a new layer. We call it arrow. Tool. Done. Okay. We're gonna duplicate these layers. Duplicate the layer. Black. We're gonna do a drop shadow. But can't I move these layers? Are you kidding me? Ugh. I don't know. GIMP is being stupid right now. No, I don't want that one. I want this one. There you go. The one I can't see, right? Because then we're going to use the tool here. Move the active layer down like this. Duplicate this layer too. Duplicate the layer. Turn this layer off. I'm going to do this a different way. So we're going to go colors. We're just going to do levels. No, not levels. Threshold. That's what I want. Colors. Threshold. Yeah, but it's actually going to go the other way around. So there you go. Black. It's the active layer still, so we're going to just do one of these. There you go. Then we're going to combine. No, I guess we're not going to combine because I can't move damn layers around. What is going on with this? If anyone. Oh, what kind this creature would fall under? I installed Dwarf Fortress. That's going to be one hell of a... Oh my goodness, Dwarf Fortress is a nightmare to learn. But it's a pretty cool game. Let's see. What do you feed it? People? They eat humans. I don't know. If anyone wants to look up why I can't move these layers, because oh my goodness, is that starting to annoy me? Like, hello, I should be able to move you. Mode, yeah, no, that's just the mode for the layer. Yeah, this should not be something that is causing me trouble here. I guess I can use this. That's nice. Whatever. There. Alright. Alright, so yeah, these two layers, we're going to merge them down. Alright, so merge down. Then we're going to go to filters, blur, Gaussian blur. Let's turn it up a little bit. Oh, not that much. There we go. There's a little bit of blur. Take the opacity down to like... I want it to be too low. There we go. That's not bad. Alright, then we're going to merge these guys together. Merge, where'd it go? Merge down. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to grab a slightly brighter color. Just a little bit. One thing is, if you don't want your red to look like it's pink when you do the highlight, go for an orange. Then we're going to go spray, big here. We're going to get a nice big brush. Yeah, and we're just going to alpha to selection. Alpha to selection. We're just going to give it a little highlight here, just along the top. A little subtle thing. Then we're going to come back and go back to just red, just so much red. But then we're going to drop this down a little bit, and then we're going to drop the we're going to drop this down a little bit, and we're going to drop it a little bit towards the dark side here. And then we're going to give it a little subtle shadow. Just a little bit. Not much. A little bit. We're going to select none. Select none. There we go. There you go. Now it's got a little bit of a color gradient, but it's not just a vertical color gradient. What do you guys think? Is that going to be a good thumbnail for the video? I think it'll be fun. A little funny little arrow. Some art. We get art. I did an art today. Pass it on. Today was an art day. And a script writing day. Alright, well thank you very much guys. I really appreciate that you guys came in, checked out the off-topic channel. I do not have a schedule for this channel at all. I just do stuff on this channel whenever I feel like it. I felt like it today. Basically because I was just doing art and I was tired of tabbing back and forth between like Discord and the art. So I was like, you know what, screw it. If you want to talk to me, they can come on here. So there you go. Let's see. As far as news, because I like to keep people updated on news. There's a video coming out tomorrow on my main channel. It's going to be the last episode of Creationism and the Big Bang. I'm not sure what's happening Thursday. I'm trying to get someone for Leaving Earth Creationism to come on Thursday. I got an email from someone who wants to do it, and his name's Raphael, not the Ninja Turtle. I don't know if he's going to be able to come on this Thursday, and if he can't, what I'm probably going to do is upload a video that I have put together a while back that is basically all of the Genesis Apologetic Should Apologize videos, but edited so that they all flow from one to the next in a single video. So I cut out like the intro, outro segments that are that would normally have been in the middle there. And so I leave the first intro and the last outro. And then there's all the actual content that's in there. And that way, if you don't want to play through the playlist or hunt them down on my channel and you just want to watch that series, you can. You just click on it and then it'll just roll. Will there be any Big Bang, or was there only one episode worth of that? I'm not sure I understand. I'm uploading like episode 9 of Creationism and the Big Bang. Oh, will there be any Big Bang in the video itself? I think there's a little bit. Yeah, I think there's a little bit. But yeah, so little of that speech actually has anything to do with the Big Bang. It's really crazy. I hate that about Creationism. They do not know how to stay on topic. Yeah. Dark Knight Apologetics, you'd like to come on Leaving YC? I'll tell you what, email me at, I'm going to type in the thing in the chat. If you're up for this Thursday, I'll just offer it to you. Honestly, it'll be a first come, first serve for this Thursday. If you want on this Thursday, that's great. Just come right on. Yeah. That's the email to email me at if you want to do that. So basically, just go do it now. So the T-Rex video should be coming out next week, maybe Thursday or something, because I think we're going to do Kent with Bent on Tuesday. So look forward to a Kent with Bent on that day. I have to figure out how exactly I want to do Kent with Bent and mix it in with the Leaving Eric Creationism streams. It might end up being that it's an either-or sort of thing. Because I want those stories out there, but I don't know that I can reliably get people every week. So, yeah. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. I am glad that you liked it. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to Top Hats Off. That is this channel. I would say ring the bell icon, but I mean, honestly, this channel is just crazy randomness, so I don't care if you do or not. But do subscribe, hit the like button, because that really helps. And yeah, I will see you guys for my premiere tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So, there you go.